I don't want to see the David fight. I think David is a heavyweight, and I think David's legacy is he actually needs to move up. And Usyk would be like the fight that would like give him the type of recognition that he needs. He needs to stop trying to suck down and beat up on smaller men. His legacy is a heavyweight. Crawford, he can do whatever he want now. If he wanted to retire, he could do that. And if he wanted to just pick easy fights to pad the stats some more, he can do that too. We already know that Charlo's probably wouldn't stand a chance against him. Nobody else who's a big name at 160 or whatever. He don't need to go back down no more. That's a waste of time, and it's also bad on his body too.
David Benavidez praised Terence Crawford's shocking win over Canelo Alvarez, calling it historic, showcasing skill, precision, and dominance that proved Crawford's greatness beyond question.
David, Crawford will fight you if he beats Canelo.
No, I wouldn't fight Crawford.
The WBC light heavyweight champion summed up Terence Crawford's incredible performance in just 4 words: greatness has no limits. Fans quickly embraced the phrase, realizing it perfectly captured Crawford's stunning rise in boxing history. His victory over Canelo Alvarez wasn't just a win, it was a monumental moment that solidified his place among the all-time greats. Earlier this month, many doubted if Crawford could handle the challenge of jumping up 3 weight divisions to face the Mexican superstar. But he shocked the entire boxing world, defeating Canelo to become the undisputed super middleweight champion. The fight took place under the bright lights of Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, where Crawford's precision, timing, and skill left no doubt. When the final bell rang, the judges' scorecards, 115 to 113, 116 to 112, and 115 to 113.
Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion, 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept his different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, masterful fight on Terence.
From the opening bell, Terence Crawford set a furious pace that Canelo Alvarez simply couldn't match. This wasn't just another victory, it was a defining chapter in boxing history. Crawford became the first male boxer ever to hold undisputed titles across 3 weight divisions, solidifying his place among the sport's immortals. At 37, the Omaha native delivered what many now call the finest performance of his career. Unbeaten WBC champion David Benavidez didn't hesitate to give Crawford his flowers, declaring that his name rightfully belongs in the discussion of boxing greatness. Crawford's remarkable ability to rise through multiple weight classes and dethrone one of the era's most dominant fighters was something rarely seen in the sport's long history. Benavidez emphasized how extraordinary it was for Crawford to climb from welterweight at 147 pounds to super middleweight and still capture every major championship. "I'd like to congratulate Terence Crawford," Benavidez said passionately. "What he's achieved is almost unheard of in boxing. He's one of the all-time greats. Not only did he move up 3 divisions, but he also beat one of the best of this generation. That fight showed the world just how much of a dog he really is."
Crawford just got the biggest win in his career and one of the biggest wins in history. He doesn't need to go out there and risk. That is too big, too strong. We don't want to see a champ do so much and accomplish so much and then end his career with a bad choice, a bad fight that he shouldn't.
There's simply no way around it. Terence Crawford just pulled off the biggest win of his career and arguably one of the greatest victories in boxing history. He didn't need to take such a monumental risk, but his hunger for legacy pushed him beyond limits most fighters wouldn't dare to test. Many fans now worry that after achieving so much, Crawford shouldn't jeopardize his incredible run by stepping into a fight that could end badly or diminish his legendary status. Yet, his latest triumph elevated him to an astonishing 5-division world champion, placing him among the most accomplished fighters ever. Almost instantly, speculation erupted about what's next. Rumors suggest Crawford might drop back down to middleweight to face Janibek Alimkhanuly, the unified WBO and IBF title holder. If he succeeds there, he'd be chasing a sixth divisional crown, a feat nearly unimaginable in modern boxing. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez finds himself standing at a difficult crossroads. At 35, and after signing a new 4-fight deal, he's expected to return in early 2026. Still, many fans and analysts wonder if his shocking loss to Crawford marked the beginning of the end for a once untouchable champion.
But you avoid the monster. You understand me? For the rest of his career if he keeps trying to fight. Well, it's tough to say because he's made enough money to he can retire. He really has nothing else to prove. You saw him go up. He did like what he tested himself all the way up as far as he could go. He won the light heavyweight title, then he lost to Bivol. So that shows that the light heavyweight wasn't ceiling. And that's good enough. Really, right now, he got nothing else to prove. You know what I mean? Of course, if you keep fighting, people going to demand you fight the monster because both you guys are Mexican. But to me, you probably shouldn't do that. You understand me? Probably not a good fight for you at this point, for real.
As Terence Crawford celebrated his historic triumph, several boxing legends shared their thoughts, including Hall of Famer James Toney, who didn't hold back. Toney dismissed the idea of it being a close fight, declaring that Canelo Alvarez wasn't just beaten, he was completely destroyed. He described Crawford's performance as sharp, ruthless, and surgical, breaking Canelo down round by round with precision and power. For Toney, it was a brutal reality check for a fighter once seen as untouchable in the super middleweight division.
Not only did he lose him, he has destroyed me losing. Took him apart.
Do you feel like he's gonna want that back? Do you feel like
If he's too fast, he can't be. He don't want it back. He trains one time and trains twice hard and do what it takes to get the job done. Basically, that's what comes down to right there.
James Toney's fiery remarks came just as talk of a potential rematch between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez began to spread across the boxing world. Many believe Canelo will seek redemption sooner rather than later, especially now that the WBC has reinstated him as the #1 contender at 168 pounds. If he pursues it, Canelo could attempt to become an undisputed champion for the third time, a dream only a few fighters in history have dared to chase. While Toney focused on Canelo's defeat, former light heavyweight champion Sergey Kovalev turned his attention to Crawford's future. Having shared the ring with Canelo himself, Kovalev offered an insightful perspective, claiming there's only one man capable of truly challenging Crawford, Dmitry Bivol. Earlier this year, Bivol defeated Artur Beterbiev to fulfill his goal of becoming the undisputed light heavyweight king. Kovalev praised Bivol's calculated, technical style and acknowledged him as Crawford's toughest possible test. Yes, Kovalev said, Bivol's style could cause problems for Crawford, but after what Crawford showed in his last fight, it's clear he can adapt to any opponent, any weight. That's what makes this fight so fascinating.
The questions. Crawford, Spence.
Yeah.
I know you watched the fight and you spoke about Crawford. How good is Crawford?
Crawford is amazing, not just good. He's amazing. And,
He said the same thing about you.
Thank you, Terence. But I think he should be in the book for
Really? Is that good?
how to learn boxing. You know.
Really?
He's very good fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to watch his fights.
Pound for pound #1?
Yeah, probably he is.
Yeah.
Now because he is undisputed champion in 2 weight classes.
It's crazy.
As Sergey Kovalev analyzed Crawford's potential challengers, another boxing legend entered the debate from a different angle. Former world champion and current promoter Oscar De La Hoya shared his take on whether Terence Crawford had surpassed Floyd Mayweather in greatness. The discussion reignited after Canelo Alvarez suggested Crawford might have eclipsed Mayweather, but De La Hoya strongly disagreed. He argued that Mayweather's mastery, intelligence, and defensive brilliance set him apart from everyone. Referring to Mayweather's dominant win over a young Canelo, De La Hoya noted how Floyd barely took a clean punch and completely neutralized the Mexican star. In contrast, he viewed Crawford as a more aggressive, offense-minded fighter, while Mayweather's adaptability and ring IQ placed him in a class of his own, one that even Crawford hasn't reached yet.
Because Canelo after the fight said that Crawford is way better than Floyd. You know Crawford, you know Canelo, you know Floyd. What do you think? Who would win in the fight?
My man. I have to disagree because Floyd Mayweather toyed with Canelo. Like he literally toyed with him. He didn't get hit at all. Not one time. And Crawford, yeah, he's more of a fighter, boxer. Mayweather's more of a boxer. Um, but I have to disagree. I think Mayweather is much more superior than Crawford. Not just because he beat me and it was a close fight, whatever, or, or that I stepped in the ring with Mayweather, but I really feel that technically Mayweather's a better.
From Benavidez's passionate praise to Toney's blunt criticism, from Kovalev's cautious insight to De La Hoya's firm comparison, and finally Rafael's doubts about Mayweather's return, Terence Crawford's masterpiece victory ignited a wave of powerful reactions across the boxing world. Each opinion painted a different layer of a sport in transition, one where legends are questioned and new kings rise. Once doubted for his resume, Crawford now stands as one of the greatest fighters in boxing history, a champion who conquered divisions and silenced critics with every punch. The only question that remains is how far will he go next? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with every pulse-pounding moment of boxing greatness.